Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Ziva Nation Plays, the FM Scout Academy Challenge with FC Dallas. And here we are, mid-season for Season 7. And oh, what a season it's been so far. I don't know. It's been bad. Not been good. Let's put it that way. I don't want to say it's been bad, because that will just add to our troubles. We need to be a little more positive here. We need to be a little more upbeat. Let's take a look at the competition. Okay, when last we left, we had a very, very disheartening loss in the North American Champions League. You can take a look here. Let's go back a little bit. You can see here we lost, well, we beat Querétaro, and then we lost in the semifinals to Tigres. We drew them 0-0 in the first match, and then lost 3-0 in the second match. And then Tigres went on. They beat Mexico 5-4 in aggregate, so they're the title holders. And since then, our season went downhill a little bit. Not terribly, we're not off a cliff just yet, but we've had a lot of ups and downs. The good news is, due to our MLS Cup victory last year, we are back in the Champions League. And not only are we back in the Champions League this year, but we were one of the top 4 seeds. So we got a very, very good seed in this Champions League. You can see here we're in Group B, so essentially we're the number 2 seed. I guess that's how that works. And we're here with a couple of interesting teams here. First of all, Saprissa. I think everybody is familiar with them. They're in this competition pretty much every season. First division, Premier Division from Costa Rica. They're a 3-star team. They've got, very good reputation. Not a lot of players because we don't have this country loaded. But they've got a couple of players and mostly scrubs. And we should be able to beat them. We beat them most years. We can beat Saprissa. But then there's a team I've never heard of in this division as well. Isidro Metapan from El Salvador Premier Division. So that's a very interesting team. I don't think I played somebody from El Salvador before. I looked them up a little bit. Los Caleros is their nickname. I believe that. It's hard to translate exactly what that means. I know that region, well, I don't know. I looked up that region is famous for limestone. So Los Caleros is like the limestone men or limestone people, or maybe it's just a local colloquialism for the miners, right? If you mine limestone and you call your people limestone or the limestone men, maybe that's just what they call miners there. So I don't know. They're the miners. But they are also mostly scrubs. So regardless of their rich and venerable history, we should be able to beat them. So I think we're looking at another pretty positive Champions League experience this season, at least for the second half of this season. We are the favorites in this group. We should make it out of this group just fine and make it to the later rounds. So I think we're solid there with Champions League participation. Where we're struggling at right now is MLS and the Supporters Shield. As you can see here, we're all the way down in 9th place in the Western Conference. We're 13th overall in the Supporters Shield. But there's some silver lining there too as well, because this was a World Cup year. We had a lot of players in the on the U.S. national team, so we had to skip a bunch of games. And what that's done is that's put us behind the curve a little bit in terms of games played. We've only played 17 games. Pretty sure that's the lowest in the league. Yeah, we're behind most teams by 2 games. We're behind the top of the division by 3 games. So, if, we only have 4 losses all season, which puts us right in the top of the Western Conference. So I think we'll be okay there if we can put on a little bit of a winning streak. Our only problem with that is we have not been able to put much of a winning streak together. You can see after that Champions League loss here, against Tigres. We went on a bit of a slide there. We lost, several games. We went on a decent unbeaten streak in the middle of the season, but we haven't been able to put together enough wins. There's been, a lot of disruption in the schedule this year. We had the U.S. Cup. We won a couple of easy first-round games in the U.S. Cup, but those don't count to MLS. We had, of course, the World Cup break in there for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. So we didn't play any games. So we're just, it's hard to find a rhythm. One thing I did do is after the World Cup run, which we got out of the group stage, I was very happy with that. Then we had a very winnable game in the knockout round versus Morocco, and I lost it. So that was very frustrating. So I quit my job as the U.S. coach. I just wanted to get rid of that distraction. I didn't want to have to make the grind to get back to the World Cup 4 years from now. There's no point in doing that. So we're going to focus all of our energy now on FC Dallas and not have any of those distractions. But in the meantime, we're trying to put together a bit of a run here. Our last 3 games, we had just an awful 4-0 loss to Vancouver coming off our U.S. Cup wins. And, that was kind of the low point of our season here, that 4-0 just destruction at the hands of Vancouver. We bounced back after that 3-0 victory over NYCFC and then a 1-1 draw versus New England. There's just some pieces missing from this team, so I gotta figure out what we're gonna do, what strategies we're gonna take, and what pieces we're gonna put into play. So I guess we'll run down the checklist before we get to our match today. Finances, we're looking, as good as ever. $35 million in the bank, almost $36 million. We've got a bit of a loss so far this month, $30,000, which is not much at all. But this season we've made $7.7 million, so we're doing fine there. Transfer budget is $8.5 million. Payroll is still well above what we need, $27 million. So we're looking good. We're looking fine financially. There was one thing I wanted to point out. The general allocation money I mentioned before, like the $2 billion thing. What I think we've got going on here is a negative $2 billion. Maybe you noticed that in previous videos and I just didn't notice it. But it looks like we've got negative $2 billion in allocation money. So that's probably why we can't buy down any of our roster. So that's a problem. It's going to be a problem going forward, but you know what? We'll soldier on. Board-wise, we're not looking hot. We have dropped significantly in the eyes of the board. We're still stable, but we're only at 52%. So we're like 20% lower than we were at the beginning of the season. The board is not happy with what's going on at the moment. So hopefully our winning of the MLS Cup last season gets us a bit of a break, but you never know. In professional sports, you can win the whole league one year and be out the next year. I think we saw that in the Champions League this year or last year, where a team made a surprising run, and then this year the coach is out. So I'm sure you know that way better than I do. I've just sort of heard about it. I haven't lived that. So let me know if you lived that. You've had your coach fired out from underneath you. Hopefully it doesn't happen to us this year, but you never know. You never know. And if that happens, that'll probably be the end of this save. I don't think I'll continue this with another team. There's no point, really. So the board, they've got big goals for us, and we're not reaching them. So we got to really step up. Club-wise, we're still fine. We're still rich. We're still 3-star reputation. Everything is fine and dandy there. Transfers, we have had quite an interesting season here. Take a look at, transfer-wise, not a lot going on. I waived Aaron Roberts, goalkeeper who was never going to play for us. That was early in the season. We had one big transfer to Mexico. Jesse Gonzalez, our goalkeeper. We finally made the move. Finally got an offer for him. Well, We've had offers for him before, but we're finally in a position where we can get rid of him. Because honestly, he's getting a little older. He's 27. That's not the end of his career or anything like that. But he was starting to get injured a lot. He was starting to get called up to the U.S. national team a lot, and he just wasn't available, for long stretches of the season. You saw last year we won the MLS Cup without him when he was injured in the playoffs. So if we can't rely on him, even though he is our number one goalkeeper, there's no doubt about that, but we can't rely on him, and we can get some pretty good value out of him. Might as well let him go and start a new chapter in goal. So that's what we've done there. Traded him away. Well, transferred him away. Sold him to America. We'll probably see him in the Champions League coming up here soon. That would be not the greatest thing, but that's probably what's going to happen. The other thing we've done is we've made a few trades. We traded one of our young midfielders, Joshua Cisak, one of our draftees this year, actually, central midfielder. He's another deep-lying playmaker, and again, we just got too many deep-lying playmakers. So he wasn't going to play. He had a lot of value, so I traded him to Portland, got a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and $60,000 in allocation money. So that's a fine deal for him. We got, we got him for one draft pick, and we got 2 draft picks out of him. So that's a pretty good deal. A little bit of cash, no problems there. So we've remade the team a little bit, just here and there, so a few pieces, but for the most part, we're the same as ever. Let's see, is there anything else we need to look at before we go to the game today? I don't think so. Well, schedule. Let's see who's on the schedule here. It's Seattle, and let's check out the competition, see where they're at. They're down with us. They're in 10th place. See, they've already played 20 games, only got 22 points. So this really needs to be the beginning of our winning streak. We need to keep things moving. We need to start going in the right direction. So that's what we'll try to do. Get to the match preview here. Dallas versus Seattle. Let's see if there's any hints from our coaching staff. Yes, they always want us to play the 4-4-2. They suggest we should control the play. Flexible shape. Okay, so we'll do that. We've had to go counterattack a little bit against teams that are just better than us. And that hasn't been the best thing to do. So we'll go flexible shape. Control the match. Mixed passing. There we go. All right. I have been extending my defense a little bit, but that gets us caught against certain teams. So I'm going to play a little conservative here. FC Dallas versus Seattle. Here we go, and we got pretty much a solid starting lineup here. Finally, now that all the U.S. national team stuff is done, all the U.S. Cup stuff is done for a little while. So here we go. Our new man in goal, Oscar Sanchez, a 2.5-star goalkeeper. He's got 3.5-star potential, though. He's pretty good. He won us the MLS Cup last season, played in the final 2 games of the season, and won them both. So hopefully he can keep improving and keep providing us good goaltending. We got Cole and Bailey at fullbacks. Escobedo is suspended. He still has suspension problems. Well, they're back, I should say. He got rid of them for a season or 2, but they're back. They showed up in the World Cup, too. He got suspended from a game in the World Cup. I was very disappointed with him there. Then we got Johnson and Valenzuela, our number 1 draft pick. Zimmerman's being rested, but we're definitely rotating those 3 guys in and out. Just pretty much every game, those guys are rotating. Acosta, defensive midfielder. McCrecky, our second top 5 draft pick. He is playing the ball-winning midfielder. We're training him up as a ball-winning midfielder. Hopefully he can use some of his physical stats and his passing there. Thompson, he played very well in the World Cup, So he didn't start every game because they had better midfielders, but he played a very key reserve role. Ross Gonzalez is in because Zamora's our new captain, by the way, because Gonzalez was previously our captain. So Zamora is our new captain, and he's going to be resting this game. Well, maybe he doesn't need to rest. Actually, Gonzalez needs to rest. So we'll bring Zamora back in. Then we got, of course, Alcantara and Washington at the strikers. So we're very, very good up front. It's just a matter of, can we put it all together? And let's give it a shot. Versus Seattle. I didn't even take a look at Seattle. I guess I could have. I could have or should have looked at them. I'm sure they've changed their team around quite a bit because they had one of the oldest teams in the league a couple of seasons ago. So those guys have got to be gone by now. Dempsey and those guys, that's probably why they're struggling this season, because they're trying to find a new team. Let's see. Florence Horvath from ESPNFC.com, devious with no relationship. He asked, it's not the best weather for soccer out there. How do you think the conditions will affect your performance? Come on, buddy. All you can talk about is the weather? You're supposed to be a professional journalist here. My players can adapt to any situation. Francis Washington is set to make his 150th appearance at the club today. How much does that mean to you? He's truly fantastic in every possible way. Let's see. The absence of Escobedo is sure to be felt. How hard will it be without his services? We look good in training and prepare for this eventuality. Fine. Okay, so they're going with the 4-4-2. Ramirez is still there. He's being partnered with Mandzukic, possibly, striker. He looks pretty good. He's got really good finishing, fitness, jumping reach. 6'3". This guy's gonna be trouble in the box. He's 36-year-old Croatian, so we'll try to keep an eyeball or two on him. They've got Lodero in the midfield. So they're still pretty good, but they're just having trouble putting it together, I guess. Oh, it looks like Mandzukic might be injured, so that's good. For us, anyway. Probably not good for him, but maybe it is. I don't know. 36 years old, maybe he just wants to collect a paycheck. Alright, so let's get this party started. Looks like a home game. Looks like we're at Toyota Field. Some Chipotle signs up there. Some Audi. I've seen some advertising for their new Motorsport Manager game. I don't think I'll be playing that. I have really no idea about motorsports. But it is funny. Ooh, Alcantara offsides for the first play of the game. Good job. Yeah, motorsports, not really my thing. Ooh, here's Thompson with a free kick, and there it is. There it is. That's the kind of quality he showed to get on the U.S. team. Only his second goal of the season. He's been such in and out of the lineup this season because he's been on so many U.S. teams as they prepared for the World Cup. It's ridiculous. Thompson, Alcantara, Washington, Escobedo. I called up a lot of guys from this team. And, it was my own fault, for sure. But, who's to say what's going to happen now that I'm not the coach? All right, here we go. Another free kick. Thompson to Acosta. Let's see if we can do something. There's McCrecky making a nice pass. Alcantara takes a long shot. Are we looking at... okay, we are working it into the box, so let's give that a shot. Seattle might be packing their defense down a little bit. We are getting a lot of highlights, so they might be playing defensive here. There's Cole rescuing things to McCrecky. Washington's going to turn. Come on, Washington. What are you doing, buddy? Let's make some passes. I'm hoping that McCrecky and Thompson can become a very good combination in the midfield. We haven't had a really strong midfield in a while. Ulloa has played okay, but he's always been teamed with a young guy, and now Ulloa's old, and he's fallen off. We're probably not going to offer him a contract at the end of this season. So this is probably Ulloa's last hurrah with FC Dallas. Ooh, There's Zamora saving it to Washington. Can Washington make a pass, buddy? Make a pass. Last year, he was one of the leading assist men. There's McCrecky getting it out wide to Cole. Back to Alcantara. What are you doing, Alcantara? He hesitated. What was that? Now they're on the counterattack. Here's Mandzukic with his injury. No match for Acosta there in the defensive midfielder role. Sending it forward. Washington on the run amidst 4 defenders. Wow. Rocket shot past the goalkeeper. 4 men on him with his 9th goal of the season. Our man Washington. I guess can't be too mad at him for not working the ball in the box when he just has to stop and settle the ball, 1 touch, and then fires. Excellent shot. What is his long shot ability? I don't think it's that great, actually. 8. Or no, that was looking at Alcantara. No, that was Washington. Yeah, so I don't know why he keeps trying his long shots, but hey, he scored. There's a turnover, but Valenzuela is there to gather it in. All right, so we got the 2-goal lead. We're looking good. I blacked out or something. I don't remember the first goal. Where did the first goal come from? Wow, this is crazy. I seriously do not remember the first goal. It just happened, right? Washington had the turnaround shot, or that shot right there that just happened. I remember that one. Long-term memory has just gone out the window. Oop, they get one back. That play down the sideline, down my right-hand side, I get scored on that quite a bit, where their left winger takes it to the corner and then centers it. There's just something about this defense. Something about my guys on the right-hand side that give up that goal. I'm not happy with it. Acosta's already a little tired. We're coming to the halftime. All right, so 2-1. Not the worst score in the world. I would have preferred it stayed 2-0, but what are you going to do? All right, you're going well, but you're capable of doing even better. I don't think I want to make any tactical changes here. Our control game's working pretty good, so we'll keep that up. All right, let's go. They get the ball to start the second half. Hopefully this starts the second half of our season where we make a big run, get back to the top of those leaderboards. Here we go. McCrecky doing his ball winning thing. That's another thing, is McCrecky's being retrained as a ball winner. Here's Alcantara. We're just not good at those crosses. You know, because it's usually a striker or a fullback making those crosses. Whereas the teams I play against, it's usually a winger who's much more adept at doing that. So that play doesn't work quite as well for us as it does the teams we play against, and it's a little frustrating. But not frustrating enough for us to change what works, which is the diamond formation. Okay, so Cole and Acosta are both a little tired. Johnson wins it. Zamora pumps it up for Alcantara. Can he beat the defense? He does in a foot race. There's a 3rd goal. Alcantara, 10th goal of the season. So that's what I like to see. I like to see both my strikers up there in double digits. Washington just needs one more to get there. Alcantara, this is what he can do. This is what both our strikers can do. They can take on the whole defense by themselves and score. That's why they're so important to this team. When they're not in there, we don't score. We don't score very much, so we got to be much more defensively sound when they're not here. Like right now, this game would be 1-1 if it wasn't for Washington and Alcantara. Ooh, there's Ramirez beating our defense back. Wild shot, though, so that's fine. We're coming up on the 60th minute mark. Probably going to want to sub out our tired individuals. Ramirez is trouble, but I don't know that he's enough to beat us one-on-one. Oh, there's a nice steal from Cole. Gets it to McCrecky with a nice pass. I am so far liking this combination of Thompson and McCrecky. Add Zamora into that list, and hopefully he can improve himself too. See, there's McCrecky saving the ball there. It's a good play. Get it out wide to Cole. Can he beat his man? Nope. He does that a little too much for my liking. All right. So let's bring in Joshua Mendez and Van de Castile. All right. Those should be our two subs for the match. I mean, maybe we'll bring in a third sub if we need to. Johnson with an easy steal. Then he turns the ball over immediately, but Bailey is there to clean it up. See if Washington can send it to Alcantara. He does. He's on the run. No defenders back. There he is. 4-1. This is what we like to see, man. Those two strikers. I mean, they just came from a competition where they took on world-class teams. You know, they were pretty much our two main strikers for the World Cup team as well. I mean, they didn't start and play every game, but they played a significant number of them, and they both scored plenty of goals. Washington was key to the offense, sending it downfield, having him head it back to Pulisic and those kind of guys. He played well. So the fact that they're both together here on FC Dallas, it should make us much more potent than we have been. There's Washington who tries to knock it on to Zamora for some reason. Zamora gets it back. There's a foul. Alcantara got crushed right in front of the goalkeeper. All right, so here we go. Who's taking the free kick? We have no Ulloa in the match. So is it Zamora taking the free kick? Or is this Alcantara? It's Alcantara. There he is. Easy. That's the one thing about not having Ulloa in the game is we have to find somebody else to do all of our special teams plays. You know, because he usually takes our free kicks and our corners and our penalties. So Alcantara looks like he can take some of that job away. All right, so we got one more sub, up 4 goals. I think we're safe to just kind of ride it out. Just save our third substitute in case somebody gets injured. But yeah, this is what we need to do going forward. We need to dominate. We need to reestablish ourselves as one of the premier teams in the MLS. You know, we don't want to be one of these first to worst tragedies that you see happen. Ramirez, come on, boys. Just because we got a 4-goal lead doesn't mean you can let things slip. So here we go. Bahambula crosses it right in front of our defense to Ramirez. That was our right defender. So that was Johnson who let that pass right in front of him. Come on, fella. Pep talk. Let's be calm about it. Concentrate. All right, Johnson's a little tired, but he's not injured. I've noticed our players getting more tired recently. I've been scaling back on training, just trying to improve their fitness a little bit, but it just hasn't been working all that much. They still get real tired. So I don't know if it's just the grind of all of these competitions we're in now, because we're in, you know, U.S. Cup and Champions League, and ooh, there's a shot. Alcantara going for a hat trick. And, you know, MLS and the World Cup. So a lot of these guys have played a lot of games this season, and they're kind of wearing down. I'm worried about how that's going to go for the end of the season. So I've been trying to rotate as much as I can, but we got to win these games. So we got to play our best players as well. So there we go. That win boosts us up to 7th place. Still, you know, 2 or 3 games behind the teams ahead of us in terms of just games played. But I think that's a very, very good start to what should be a positive run for us. Some decent ratings here. Look at that Alcantara, 9.6 ratings. Oh, he did get the hat trick. 3 goals, 1 assist for Alcantara. Man of the match, no doubt about that. Analysis-wise, take a look. Both our central defenders made 16 interceptions. That's pretty good. Acosta, 16 interceptions. 96 and 98 passes for Thompson and Zamora. It's pretty good. All around a dominant performance, but Seattle's not that good this season, so it's not that big of a barometer. But still, it's good to get a nice big victory like that. It should set our spirits alight and have us looking forward to the second half of the season. Let's see. Praise Alcantara. Sure, why not? You were superb in front of goal last match. Thanks, boss. I'll keep it up. Let's take a look at the schedule, see what we got coming up. We got a U.S. Cup quarterfinal game. Just a couple of games, so we still got that. Oh, I forgot about that. We've got a friendly with Southampton. Premier League team. I don't know. Why not, right? Pile on another game in the middle of MLS season. I should probably cancel that friendly. But I don't normally get Premier League teams to actually agree to a friendly, and they sought me out. They wanted this friendly. So I guess I'll take what I can get and try to raise our profile a little bit. Maybe we can beat a Premier League team. That'd be fun. So we got a lot of games on the schedule coming up. We got the Champions League Group B starting in a month or so. So I don't know. I don't know how many of these games we're going to show this season, but it is a jam-packed schedule. So we'll probably wait for the U.S. Cup. Maybe we'll wait until the semifinals or even the finals for the U.S. Cup and give that a shot. Should I show the friendly with Southampton? I don't know, maybe. That could be just a drubbing on their part, but you never know. I mean, if we could beat them, then we can beat a Mexican team. I think they're definitely equivalent in terms of quality. Maybe even Premier League teams better. Who knows? Anyway, we'll figure that out and then come back and show you some of these games. Maybe all of them, maybe none of them. It's a mystery right now. So stay tuned and see you later. Bye.